What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Little Man No Sports coming at you guys here with another video. And today, as you guys can tell, we are going to be making our predictions for the 2020 NBA playoffs. It has been a long time coming, but the playoffs are finally here. They start tomorrow at 1:30 for the Utah Jazz and the Denver Nuggets. It's going to be a great playoffs. We got some great matchups, so we're going to break it all down and make our predictions all the way up till we crown a championship winner. But before we do, guys, smash up that like button. Let's try and get to 60 likes on this video. Let's try and get to 60 likes on the video. And if you are new to the channel, definitely do hit that subscribe button as well for more NBA content. But let's just break down right into the predictions. We are going to start over on the Eastern Conference. We start with the 1-8 matchup between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Orlando Magic. I don't have to say much about this one. Bucks win this one easy in 4. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Middleton lead it to an easy win over the Magic. The Magic had another subpar year, finished a little bit lower than they did last year seeding-wise, and I think that they have a worse playoff performance as well going up against the Milwaukee Bucks here. They don't even steal one game. Bucks sweep the Magic, move on to the Eastern Conference semifinals. Then we look at probably the best matchup here that we see in the Eastern Conference, the 4-5 matchup between the Indiana Pacers and the Miami Heat. Obviously, we love the tension that TJ Warren and Jimmy Butler have, and it's going to bring so much excitement to this series. But when you look at the overall roster, the Heat have a much better roster. I think the Heat are able to get this one done in 6, maybe 7. I think the Pacers could push this one to 7, but I ultimately think the Heat just have a better roster and that the Heat are going to pull this one out in 6 or 7. Give me the Heat in 6, though, pulling the series win over the Indiana Pacers. And then we go to the Sixers and the 76ers. That is going to be another great matchup. But then you take Ben Simmons out of the picture. You take Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, I think he might be back, but he's not at 100% right now. And you just look at how good the Celtics have been playing and what a great season they've had. They've got Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker. All three of them are going to go off in this series. Boston wins this one pretty easily here in 5 games. The Celtics also own the 76ers, whether it's the regular season or the playoffs. We saw them beat them in the playoffs just 2 years ago. I think the Celtics do the same thing here, win the series in 5. They move on in the Eastern Conference semifinals. And then we look at the 2-7 matchup between the Toronto Raptors and the Brooklyn Nets. And I think the same thing here with the Bucks and Magic series. Just too overpowered. I think what we've seen, though, from the Nets, they went 5-3 in the bubble, beat some teams like the Milwaukee Bucks, like the Clippers, almost ruined the Blazers' season, knocking them out from the playoffs. LeVert did miss that game-winning jump shot, step back from the mid-range, or top of the key was, I don't know, but he missed the shot. But this Nets team has really surprised a lot of people, and they're missing a lot of people too. The Nets are definitely going to be a finals contender next year with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. I do think they pull one win away. I think Karis LeVert goes off in Game 3. Give me Game 3. I think the Nets are going to take a dub, kind of be, get somewhere with this series, but not to a point where they're going to throw in anything. Raptors take the next 2 games pretty easily, and they move on to the Eastern Conference Finals as the Nets fall home. But next season for the Nets is definitely going to be something to watch out for. Now we go over to the Western Conference. We look here at the 1-8 matchup between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Portland Trailblazers. I think this is one of the 2 matchups that people are most excited for here in the Western Conference. The Lakers and the Portland Trailblazers. I mean, the Trailblazers, are more healthy now. They're not even fully healthy. They've got Nurkic back, which is so huge. We've seen what he has done in the bubble. Joseph Nurkic is such an important piece to that Blazers team, which they did not have the entire season, which is why I think we've seen them improve both offensively and defensively here in the bubble. And then you've also got a guy like Damian Lillard who's really feeling himself. CJ McCollum is playing really nice in these past couple of games. So the Blazers are definitely going to give the Lakers a run for their money. But you look at it, you've got a great depth over there in Los Angeles. You've got LeBron James. You've got Anthony Davis. I think the Blazers pose a chance in this series. I wouldn't be completely shocked. I would be shocked, but I wouldn't be completely shocked, if you know what I mean, if the Blazers got this done. But I do think the Lakers do win this one in 6. I think the experience of LeBron James and Anthony Davis override the Blazers. They win in 6, and they move on to the Western Conference semifinals. And now for my favorite matchup of the Western Conference first round, and probably the first round as a whole, we've got OKC and the Houston Rockets. OKC has been one of my favorite teams to watch all year long. They're so good down in the clutch. They're their #1 clutch team in the NBA. Always getting come from behind victories against tons of their opponents. And CP3 has just led this team to such a miraculous season. Before the season started, I had the Oklahoma City Thunder at 14th in the Western Conference. They finished 5th in the Western Conference this year, 1.5 games out of the 3rd seed. That's how close OKC was. That's how good of a season that they did have. Nobody thought they would be here. You look at Houston, they're going small ball. I've never been a fan of the small ball. I think Russell Westbrook will be back for game 1. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't think the small ball is going to work. I've got OKC pulling off a bit of an upset here, taking the series in 7 games. OKC defeats Houston. James Harden chokes in game 7 once again. Another choke for the Rockets. The Thunder move on and continue to impress a lot of people. Now we've got the Nuggets and the Utah Jazz, and for those who know, I'm a big-time Utah Jazz fan. This series is also very intriguing. Along with every matchup here in the Western Conference, you can make a case for any of these teams to win in the Western Conference. You really could. We look at the 3-6 matchup here, and the Nuggets obviously got a great roster with Jokic, with Grant, and we got Jamal Murray coming back. Harris is now coming back. The Nuggets are looking to be more healthy as a team, but I just got this feeling, and I know people are going to be like, oh, you're being biased or what. I got the Jazz in 7. I really do. I watched that double overtime game where Donovan Mitchell just would not miss in the clutch, and yes, the Nuggets ended up pulling it out. But I think if the Jazz can get rolling, they've hit a lot more threes here in this restart. They've had a lot less turnovers, and they've had way more steals on defense as well. And I know the record says otherwise as they went 3-5 here in the NBA bubble. But you have to understand they were tanking to get this 6th seed so they didn't have to play OKC or the Houston Rockets. So I got this feeling the Jazz taking in 7. Gobert matches up really well against Jokic. Jokic tends to struggle against Gobert. So I know you guys are going to say I'm biased, but I've got the Jazz taking this one in 7, upsetting the Nuggets. Now we look at the Clippers and the Mavericks. I love what the Mavericks have done all season long. You've got Luka Doncic, up-and-coming star. He will be the MVP at least once in the next 5 years. I can guarantee you that. Luka Doncic is the next big-time thing here in the NBA. I don't really think there's a lot of people that will disagree with that statement. But right now, it's Paul George and it's Kawhi Leonard. It's Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams, Patrick Beverley, Landry Shamet. There is no way the Mavericks can pull this series out. I think they take it to 6, maybe 5-6. I think that's what it goes to. But I think the Clippers, the best depth in the NBA, in my opinion, pull this one out. They get this series done in 5 or 6 here. And now we're going to go back, and we have got the Eastern Conference semifinals. We have the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat here. And the Milwaukee Bucks obviously are one of those teams that choke in the playoffs a ton. We all know it. They choked against Raptors. They were in overtime, up by like 6 with 2 minutes to go or something like that against Raptors in Game 3 last year. They ended up losing. We all know what happened. I don't believe they won another game in that series, but I've got it going a little differently here this time. Obviously, that was in the conference finals, so no choke yet. I think the Bucks pull this out. I think Giannis Antetokounmpo leads the Bucks over the Miami Heat here in 6. I've got the Bucks in 6 in this series, and the Bucks will move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. And now we look at the Celtics and the Raptors, the most intriguing conference finals matchup. The Celtics and Raptors is going to be a fantastic series. This one will go down to 7. But I really like the Celtics in Game 7. I really like the Celtics in this series. If you guys know me, I've been high on the Celtics all season long. I think that momentum rides. I think Jason Tatum has a humongous Game 7, and they lead the victory. And I know that the Raptors have had a better season without Kawhi Leonard in a sense, but I think in the playoffs, it's going to show once again. It's going to show that they needed that leader. Not that Siakam hasn't become that leader, but he hasn't become the leader that they need yet. Siakam will. He will become that leader, but not yet. I think that a little bit of inexperience shows. Yes, I understand he went to the finals, but he's not leading this Raptors team on his own. I think the Raptors fall short here. I think the Raptors have a fantastic squad. But I think the Celtics take this one in 7 and they win the series. Now we look at the Lakers and the Thunder. The Lakers are going to get this done. Now, I know the Thunder absolutely destroyed the Lakers here in the bubble, but that was one game. Lakers, I'm not even going to really explain myself on this. I really think the Lakers will take care of business against the Thunder. It will be an easier series than they played against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm against the Portland Trailblazers. Lakers will move on to the Western Conference Finals. Now we look at the Jazz and the Clippers. And again, no question about this one. This is going to be an easier series for the Clippers. The Jazz are not going to be able to stand Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Yes, the Jazz did beat the Clippers 2-1 in the season series and actually blew them out twice. But playoff time, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Give me the Clippers winning that 1 in 5, moving on to the Western Conference Finals to place their in-state rival, the Los Angeles Lakers. And now we go to the Eastern Conference Finals, the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics. And I know a lot of you kind of got that hint when I said I've been high on the Celtics all season long. And what do the Bucks do every single year? They choke. And I think they do it again. I think the Bucks lose this series. I think the Celtics take the dub in this series and they win in 6 games over the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Bucks fall short once again, and the Boston Celtics move to the NBA Finals here for the first time since what, 08 maybe, or was it 10? I'm not sure when the last time the Celtics were in the finals, man, but man, oh man, I really love the Celtics here in the Eastern Conference, and I think they get it done. And now we've got the LA battle, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Clippers. A very, very intriguing matchup here. Clippers in 7. Clippers in 7. I know all the LeBron James are like, are you serious? Or whatever. No. Clippers are getting this done. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are going to show up. The depth of the Clippers are going to show up. Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams. You're going to have the aggressiveness of Patrick Beverley. Yes, the season was tied 2-2. I think this one goes to 6. I think the Clippers don't even. I don't think the Lakers extend this one to Game 7 either. I think the Clippers' depth is really going to show. And they're going to move on to the finals. Lakers go home. LeBron falls short once again. And the Clippers meet the Boston Celtics here in the NBA Finals. Clippers Celtics, again, I know I've said it. I'm high on the Celtics this year, but not over the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers, I've been saying it as soon as the trade happened, would win the NBA Finals. I haven't looked back, and why would I look back now? Yes, it's going to be a tough series, but the Clippers take it in 6. I think the Celtics could give them a run for their money, but ultimately, I think the Los Angeles Clippers will be your 2020 NBA champions. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Let me know what you guys think about my predictions down in the comment section below, or what you would change. Make sure, guys, to smash the like and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss when we upload or when we go live. I will be covering live play-by-play reactions for the Utah Jazz and the Denver Nuggets at 1:15 Eastern Time on Monday. And then we'll be live right after for the Raptors and the Nets. And then the following day, we will be live for the Bucks and the Magic at 1:15 again. Or maybe it's like 12:45, I'm not sure. And then we'll be live right after that one for the Heat and the Pacers. So tons of stuff going on in this channel, man, on the road to 4K. I appreciate all the support. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on Monday for the live play-by-play reaction for the Jazz and the Nuggets. Have a great day, everyone.